Could you please discuss the miraculous healings that the Lord bestowed following Our Lady's apparitions, particularly Our Lady of Lourdes? And now we're moving from the New Testament to more modern times and connected again to Our Lady as it was in Cana.
Yeah, if you just want a couple of quick resources, there are some really good ones out there. But the first one is go to the International Lourdes Medical Commission on your Google there, and you will get a whole lot of information about this. But Lourdes is a very good case in point of how the Blessed Mother is certainly helping us, and how she is truly very active in the economy of salvation, particularly in miraculous healings in the 20th and 21st centuries. And what's so interesting about the Lourdes miracles is early on, it was well recognized that miracles were continuing to happen even after the apparitions had stopped at Lourdes. And so a medical commission was set up there, and that medical commission, a very important medical commission, essentially has been documenting with x-rays, with doctors who examine patients beforehand, has been documenting real miracles that take place there at Lourdes. And now there are, many miracles that are attested to that are very probably miracles. I think there's 71 of them that they have officially declared have absolutely no natural explanation. I mean, just everything has been ruled out. And so Lourdes does have that good medical commission with very fine doctors and very fine documentation that can really show, the miracles there. Now, of course, those are just the ones that you can rule out every natural cause. Are there many, many, many more miracles that take place at Lourdes than simply those that have gone and have been approved through the scientific commission? Absolutely. Like, there are probably 50, 60 times more miracles that have taken place there that are very probably miracles where they just couldn't get all the documentation in place to show that rule out all natural causes. The other thing very interesting too is Dr. Alexis Carrel. He was a Nobel Prize winner. I think he had invented internal stitching for arteries, which really an important discovery. And anyway, he had actually experienced 2 miracles that actually took place at Lourdes, and one of the few people to have done this. Obviously, I think this is divine providence in and of itself, to kind of get Dr. Carroll into the church. I think that was part of it, and also to have his testimony influence generations of people, which it did. I mean, one time he was just literally riding on a train down to southern France, sees this woman who's obviously been severely affected, by a tumor, and has swelling all over her body. She's tubercular, and of course, he looks at her and says, this woman probably has, at most 2-3 days to live. There's no possibility. Well, by quote-unquote coincidence, if you know what I mean, he's on a train coming back from southern France as she's walking onto the train after having had a miracle at Lourdes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when she gets back onto the train, she is walking on her own power. All the swelling has gone down completely. There's absolutely no sign of any kind of tuberculosis, any kind of stress on the body from years of dying, atrophying from tuberculosis, right? There's no sign of it at all. She walks back in onto the train under her own power. And of course, when, Alexis Carrel looks at her, he goes, you couldn't be the same person person, that I examined, on the way down here. And she said, oh, I'm the same person. Recounts the conversation with him, right? That they had. I mean, he's completely blown away. And of course, this begins the story of his own conversion, because of course it's completely outside of the prospect of natural causation explaining it. So, but yeah, Lourdes is one of those extraordinary places where we see the continued miraculous ministry being continued. And by the way, that it continues too in the name of Jesus. There are many priests out there who do have, and also many lay people who do have significant healing ministries in the name of Jesus. And some of these priests have some very, very interesting miracles. Padre Pio, there's some very well documented miracles that he performed, especially on a blind girl in particular who did not have pupils and was restored to sight. So there's some really, really interesting miracles in the name of Jesus as well. And of course, Mary, especially at Lourdes.
Right.
Great question.
Right, and Lourdes is obviously one of the, because of Bernadette, still a popular apparition site to visit.
Yes.
And also we've been bringing in actually the rosary from Lourdes in English on, I believe it's on Sunday mornings. We're looking to expand that. It's actually proven to be very, very popular, as well as we're carrying a lot of events this month for Fatima, because we're entering into the year of the 100th anniversary, basically, of Our Lady of Fatima. So there's a lot of excitement about both of those.
There's a good deal of miracles. Yeah, many healing miracles at Fatima too, but not as medically established with the same kind of scientific veracity, at Lourdes.